It's been standard practice for a long time in the U.S. to leave a tip for restaurant service or for things like haircuts or tattoos, whatever. But the number of businesses asking for a tip for any kind of service has kind of started to creep up, it seems like. And many people are starting to wonder what we need to tip for and how much. And some people are fed up with it altogether. If you're going out for coffee, for example, and you've already spent $5 or more for a single cup and now you're being served at the counter, are you really supposed to tip on top of that? I mean, you just poured me some coffee. Or if you're getting takeout, you're asked to tip on the online order before you even submit your order? You have no idea if the service is going to be any good or not. It hasn't even happened yet. But many people who work in the service industry do rely on tips to supplement their income. Many states even have a lower minimum wage for employees who regularly do get tipped. Oregon does not, but some do. Employers have to pay servers here in Oregon and other workers at the same minimum wage that everybody else gets. But people opposed to tipping say it should not be the responsibility of the customers to supplement that income. The employer should pay the workers a living wage. When you're faced with a request for a tip, even before you've been served, it can be kind of hard to say no, especially if it's on one of those big screens and everyone's standing around watching. And if your choice is not to tip, well, does that affect the service that you get? A new poll by Pemco Mutual Insurance shows that a majority of Northwest restaurant goers claim that they're average or even generous tippers. The poll asked people in Portland how much they tip. 41% of the people rated themselves as very generous tippers. Another 46% said they tip average in accordance with general standards. But keep in mind, this is a self-reported survey. People can say whatever they want. More than half agree that you should at least tip 15% at a sit-down restaurant, but people are less sure about the percentage to tip when they're picking up their own food or using a delivery service. 21% say you should not tip anything in that case, and most people said you should tip less than 15%. Well, we went out and asked a few people today how much they tip under different scenarios.
It's usually just a caring, like 20%. Either way, when it's DoorDash, I give 20% to the tipper or to the driver and the restaurant, and same with dining in, 20%.
Recently, with things being a little tougher, like if nothing absolutely happens, I'll go down to like 10 or 15 depending, but normally start at 20 and then go from there.
Most people who eat can spare another extra $1 or $2 or whatever. I love to tip 20 or more. If the service is really good, I tip a lot because I was a waiter one time.
Me too, and a busboy. Several restaurants have tried abolishing tipping in recent years. The restaurant Kachka in Portland got rid of tipping last year. Instead, customers pay a 22% service charge. Kachka says they pay employees a starting wage of $25 an hour with free health care coverage and profit sharing. Other restaurants tried doing away with tipping for a while and then backtracked. Portland restaurant Le Pigeon raised prices and got rid of tipping in 2016, but just about a year later, they decided, it's not really working out. Let's go back to the traditional model. They said the perception among customers was that the prices were too high, even though altogether they were still paying about the same they'd been paying with the tip. So, time for you to weigh in here. What do you think? Has tipping got out of hand? Do you think it's important in some instances but not others? Let us know which and why. Or should we get rid of the practice altogether and raise prices? We especially want to hear from you if you work now in the service industry or if you run a business where your workers are tipped. Send us your thoughts, will you? The email is thestory@kgw.com, or you can call and leave a good old voicemail, 503-226-5090.